My name is Noelle Archer, and I'm 27 years old. Competence doesn't wave its arms. It hums. The dishwasher ticks into off-peak at 12:01. The budget sheet exhales when the last cell turns green. The apartment holds the roof steady while the day gnaws at the edges. I like ballast. No one praises ballast until the boat lists. Thursday night pretended to be easy. The lamp cut a soft triangle across the rug Grant picked, which actually meant I bought and he approved. The place smelled like bergamot and the last of the roasted garlic I'd roasted on Sunday, a domestic echo of a life I thought we were building. We'd been together 2 years, living together for 8 months, splitting everything right down the middle. $2,400 rent, utilities, groceries, all of it 50-50. I make around $75,000 as a data analyst. Grant brings in about $45,000 in marketing. I carried the utilities because I moved in first. He was on as an authorized user. I brushed a crumb off the counter, checked the time, and tucked my card into a small black clutch. "Ready?" I asked. Tyler texted. "They're already at the restaurant," Grant said, like it was a test I might fail. Trendy place downtown, black metal chairs that photograph well, Edison bulbs like amber fruit. His friends had claimed a corner table, Tyler, Brandon, and Marco. The trio that liked to introduce each other by job titles as if they earned commission on each other's identities. "Guys' night, plus the girlfriend," I teased, kissing Grant's cheek. He smiled, a little too proud to be seen. We ordered, the server left with our menus, the air settled. I excused myself to the bathroom when I felt my phone buzz, a payment alert for a streaming service in my name, the one he used most. I wasn't irritated, I was organized. There's a difference. The hallway to the restrooms was narrow, the kind that makes whispers feel louder. On my way back, I heard my name. I didn't stop, not at first, until I caught the shape of Grant's voice, casual and light as lint. "Look, Noelle's sweet and all, but let's be real," he said, the words landing with the same shrug he uses for laundry. "She's just a placeholder until something better comes along." My body didn't freeze so much as it misfiled the moment, putting it in a folder labeled "Not Possible." The table laughed. Tyler said, "Dude, you're savage." Brandon, "Comfort's a perk, man. Don't mess up a good thing." Marco clinked his glass against Grant's. "Ride it out till the upgrade." An upgrade. It's strange what you notice while your insides are sliding off their hooks. The chalkboard menu had a smudge on the O in rosemary. The host's pen clicked 3 times, then stopped. My heartbeat climbed into my mouth and waited there, patient and feral. I walked the last 6 feet to the table like I was returning to a life I'd already quietly left. Grant's face lit up the way it always did when he'd been the funniest person at the table. He reached for my hand. I didn't offer it. Our food arrived. The server asked if we needed anything else. "Just my portion, please," I said lightly, tapping the receipt when it came and drawing a neat line under my entree and drink. The pen didn't shake. That felt like a small miracle. Grant blinked. "Babe, we usually just split it." "Not tonight." I said exact cash from my plate and tip. My voice found me when I stood. "Good luck finding something better, Grant." The table went silent. A theater hush. Tyler tried on a grin and found it didn't fit. Brandon stared at the receipt like it might advise him. Marco smoothed a napkin no one needed smoothing. Grant laughed, too loud. "Noelle, come on. It was a joke. Guys talk." "Then talk to your guys." I pushed my chair back in neatly, because I am the sort of person who does that. I'll be by tomorrow for my things. My phone buzzed before I reached the door and didn't stop buzzing all the way to my car. I drove to my friend Tasha's place on autopilot. She opened the door mid-knock, saw my face, and said nothing, just pulled me inside and pressed a tea into my hand like a nurse with a syringe. "What did he say?" I told her. Not every word, just the important ones. Placeholder, upgrade, ride it out. Tasha went quiet in that protective way that means there are sentences she is choosing not to say for my sake. "Stay here tonight," she said. "Take the bed. I'll make the couch a palace." Morning arrived like it always does, indifferent and on schedule. At 8:03 a.m., I started the calls. Gas, electric, internet. "I need to transfer service to Grant Rivera effective Monday," I told each rep, giving account numbers, confirming addresses, authorizing new contact details. Where transfers required the other party's confirmation, I set termination dates and noted the policy windows. There has to be authorization from, a rep began. He's an authorized user on the account, I said, calm as a ledger. Please note that I'm moving out. The internet switch was instant because the plan was month to month. Streaming services I'd created logins for, canceled on my side. He could create his own if he wanted. I kept my half of the rent queued to auto-pay through the lease end. I took screenshots of everything. Confirmation numbers, like breadcrumbs for a future courtroom that probably wouldn't exist but might. At 8:57 a.m., I texted Grant. Utilities are being transferred to your name. I'll stop by tomorrow with Tasha to pick up my things. The reply was instantaneous, like he'd been waiting for his cue. Noel WTF. We need to talk. I turned my phone face down and laid out boxes in my head. Essentials, maybes, donate. My hands made lists while my heart finally caught up to last night. By lunch, Patricia, his mother, who had always been pleasant in a way that felt choreographed, called from an unknown number. Noel, sweetheart, she began, a tremble manufactured between syllables. Grant told me there was a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding implies ambiguity, I said. He was clear. He's young. Men say stupid things to impress their friends. You know how boys are. He's 27, and I know how men are when they tell the truth and call it a joke. Her voice sharpened. You're going to throw away a good man over a few unfortunate words? I'm going to stop subsidizing a man who thinks I'm a placeholder. A beat. Then the accusation. You're being vindictive. No, I said, feeling the cool click of it. I'm being precise. After I hung up, the apartment I wasn't in any longer unspooled in my memory. The rug I bought, and he picked the shared drawer holding takeout menus and warranty papers. The plant he swore he watered, but never did. I had mistaken steady for safe, polite for kind, shared expenses for shared life. That's the problem with ballast. You can't tell if you're stabilizing the boat or keeping someone else from learning how to swim. A trio of messages from Grant arrived like a chorus. We can talk this out. You blindsiding me with utilities is messed up. You know I can't cover deposits right now. I typed, deleted, retyped, then sent one line. Actions have costs. You chose yours. I pictured him at the table last night, basking in the glow of his friends, those men who clink their glasses on my future. I pictured a different table, months from now, where a woman laughed at a story he told about me. Placeholder, upgrade, ride it out. There would always be another table until someone finally got up and left the restaurant. I had. Tasha peeked in with 2 cardboard boxes and a roll of tape. Operation Swift Exit begins at 0900 tomorrow, she said, trying to make me smile. It worked, a little. Thank you, I said, meaning more than the boxes. Last thing, she added, casual the way you are when you are not being casual at all. I saw Kendra Lawson viewed your story last night. I glanced up, Grant's ex, the one allegedly in the past. The name slid across my skin like a cold draft. Random, I said. Tasha said, which meant not random at all. The lamp over her kitchen table cast a modest circle of light. Outside, the city murmured. In a few hours, I would face the apartment one last time as ours. In a few days, the utilities would hum on someone else's schedule, and in a few weeks, the only thing left of this would be a receipt, the line where I paid what I owed and nothing more. Placeholders don't pay deposits, I said to no one. Then I boxed the thought with the rest. Tasha's pickup truck rumbled to a stop outside the building at 9:02 a.m., sharp. I'd timed everything down to the minute, not out of pettiness, but self-preservation. Structure steadies grief. Grant was already waiting by the door, arms crossed, that practice mix of indignation and charm. He wore the hoodie I bought him last Christmas, the one that said, "Good energy only." The irony nearly made me laugh. Noel, come on, can we talk like adults? He tried a disarming smile. It looked foreign on him now. I am talking like an adult, I said, unlocking the door. Adults finish what they start. I came to pack. Inside, the air felt stale. That faint sourness that follows after comfort's been vacuum sealed and left too long. I moved past him, straight to the bedroom. Tasha followed, phone recording quietly in her pocket, just in case. Grant trailed after me. You overreacted. You know that, right? I was just joking with the guys. You said I was a placeholder, I said evenly, folding the blanket I'd brought from my old place. Not sure which part of that qualifies as humor. His jaw tightened. They were pushing me about marriage, okay? I panicked. I said something dumb to get them off my back. Interesting that you didn't say you were joking until after I walked away, he scoffed. You're really going to throw away 2 years over one comment? No, I said, taping the box shut. I'm throwing away the idea that you respected me. Behind us, Tasha cleared her throat. Grant, unless you want to help carry boxes, maybe give her space. Grant rolled his eyes but didn't move. You're punishing me. That's what this is. Making some grand point. You always have to be right. No, I said again, calm, almost gentle. I just finally stopped pretending I was wrong. By noon, my things were stacked neatly by the door, 2 boxes of clothes, 1 of books, and a flat-packed TV stand that used to hold his gaming console. I unplugged the router, set it on the counter. This goes off Monday, I reminded him. His face flickered, panic breaking through the smugness. You can't just switch everything. I don't have the money for the deposits. That's not my problem anymore. He threw up his hands. You're being heartless. I met his eyes. No, I'm being accurate. That night, the text started again. First Grant, then his mother, then, somehow, his ex. Grant, you didn't have to humiliate me. Me. I didn't. You did that yourself. Grant, my mom says this is financial abuse. Me. Tell Patricia she's welcome to cover your bills. Kendra. Wow, Noelle. Couldn't even give him time to explain? Some girlfriend. Me. Funny. I didn't realize the ex was still on retainer for PR. Blocked. By Monday morning, the utilities had officially transferred. At 8:17 a.m., Grant called 3 times before switching to voicemail. The 4th attempt came from a new number. I let it ring. At 8:23, a text pinged from an unknown contact. Hi, Noelle, this is Patricia Rivera. I think you've made your point. My son is devastated. He's a good man who made a small mistake. Can we please be civil? I stared at the screen. Civility, the refuge of people who never had to clean up the mess. Before I could reply, she sent another message. He can't afford to pay both rent and deposits this month. I raised you better than to kick someone when they're down. I typed back, you didn't raise me, but thanks for the reminder. By Tuesday evening, the narrative had shifted. Grant posted on social media a black and white photo of an empty couch captioned, When love turns transactional, no one wins. Some people just walk away instead of working things out. Hashtag lessons learned. Within an hour, the comments filled up. His friends offered sympathy. Kendra chimed in with a broken heart emoji, and then, the pièce de résistance, Patricia commented, You'll find someone who appreciates your loyalty. Some women forget that relationships aren't spreadsheets. I laughed out loud. Not bitterly. Genuinely. Because if they thought they could script my guilt, they'd forgotten who I am. I keep records. So I posted one response. Quiet, factual, devastating. A screenshot of the utility confirmation, date stamped, with his name clearly listed as authorized user, 8 months. Caption. Transparency isn't cruelty. Some people just don't like receipts. Within minutes, his post vanished. Half the comments turned into DMs, from mutual friends asking if the rumor was true. Yes, I told them. He said I was a placeholder. I believed him. By Wednesday, the financial fallout hit. Grant called, frantic. The power company says I need a $400 deposit. The gas wants $300. I don't have that kind of money lying around. I told you that before the switch, I said. You knew this would happen, he snapped. I did, I said simply. That's why I prepared for it. You could have too. He was silent for a long beat. Then, You're seriously okay watching me struggle like this? I watched you call me temporary, I said. I think we're even. He hung up. Thursday brought Patricia's next attempt. She left a voicemail this time, voice trembling like a practiced violin. Noelle, dear, Grant hasn't slept in days. He feels terrible. Don't you remember all the good times? Surely you won't ruin his credit over this. I saved the message. Documentation, not revenge. That evening, Tasha came over with takeout and wine. We sat on my new couch, secondhand, but mine, and let the silence breathe. Do you think he'll ever actually apologize? She asked. Probably not, I said. People who see others as placeholders usually think the furniture moved itself. Friday, 10:07 a.m. New number again. Grant's father this time. Noelle, this is Robert Rivera. Let's handle this like adults. Madison, sorry, Grant, says you're trying to ruin him. He made a mistake. You don't have to destroy his life over words. Robert, I said, I'm not ruining anything. I just stopped paying his bills. You knew he couldn't afford that apartment without you. Then maybe he should live somewhere that matches his income. You're cold, he hissed. Efficient, I corrected. When the call ended, I leaned back, letting the calm settle. I'd spent years learning to be dependable, balanced, patient. Turns out those same skills make you dangerous once you stop using them for someone else's comfort. Saturday night, 11:45 p.m. The knock came first, then the voices. Grant, Tyler, Marco, and, of course, Kendra. "Noelle, open up. We need to talk," Grant called through the door. Tasha looked up from the couch. "Want me to call the cops?" "Not yet," I said, standing. "Noelle, please," his voice cracked. "You know I love you. You know that was nothing. I was an idiot." "You were honest," I said through the door. Kendra cut in, slurred. "He's trying, girl. Be reasonable." "Reasonable," I repeated, tasting the word. "Like calling your partner a placeholder?" A pause, then Grant again, desperate. "I can't lose the apartment. Please, I'll change, I swear." "You're about to," I said. "Lose the apartment, I mean." He pounded once, hard. "You're heartless." Tasha lifted her phone. "Say that again for the camera." There was a muffled curse, then retreating footsteps. I locked the door, exhaled. Tasha grinned faintly. "You're like a walking TED Talk for boundaries." I laughed. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm just done financing someone's self-delusion." Sunday morning, 9:03 a.m. The silence was clean. No more calls. No more messages. Just sunlight threading through blinds and the quiet hum of the fridge, the only sound that still felt like home. Then a text from the landlord, Mr. Peterson. "Hi, Noelle. Just confirming, you're keeping your half of rent active. Grant mentioned trying to break the lease, but I told him you were still on it. He'll owe his half regardless." I smiled, validation in the most unexpected form. "Thanks, Mr. Peterson. Appreciate you letting me know." "Between you and me," he replied, "Ashley, that's Tyler's girlfriend, told me Grant's been saying for months he was just waiting for someone richer. Guess you dodged a bullet." It wasn't vindication I felt exactly. More like clarity, like watching the fog burn off and seeing that the landscape beneath it was smaller than you thought. I set my phone down and stared at the quiet apartment. The rent, the bills, the peace, all mine now. And for the first time in 2 years, every light in my life was one I'd chosen to turn on. Week 2 came with a new flavor of chaos. Desperation disguised as negotiation. Monday morning, 8:32 a.m., an email pinged my inbox. Subject, formal notice, promissory estoppel. Sender, law offices of Dalton and Kiefer. I blinked, then read the first line aloud. Our client, Mr. Grant Rivera, asserts that Ms. Noelle Archer made a verbal promise to share financial responsibility for the duration of their relationship. I snorted. Duration of their relationship, as if love were a lease. The email went on. Mr. Rivera relied on this promise to his detriment and now suffers measurable financial loss. I forwarded it to my cousin, Clara Archer, who happens to be a lawyer with a taste for poetic justice. Within 5 minutes, she called. "Please tell me this is real," she said, laughing before I could speak. "He's suing you for stopping financial support?" "Apparently, yes," I said, stirring coffee. "Promissory estoppel, emotional distress, the works." "Oh, I'm framing this," Clara said. "I'll draft a response for entertainment value alone." Her email reply, which she CC'd me on, was a masterpiece of polite annihilation. "To whom it may concern, please advise your client that relationships are not fiduciary contracts, nor is affection enforceable under civil law. Should Mr. Rivera wish to proceed, we will counterclaim for defamation, fraudulent inducement, and misuse of shared financial accounts." By noon, the law firm withdrew pending review. By 2 p.m., Clara texted, "Case dismissed by common sense. Drink soon?" I sent her a laughing emoji and exhaled. But Grant wasn't done. When manipulation fails, people tend to escalate. Tuesday evening, I came home to find an envelope taped to my apartment door. His handwriting, sloppy and slanted. Inside, a printed photo of us at a wedding last year, and a note scrawled across the back. "I don't want to fight. I just want us back. I miss you." It should have hurt. It didn't. Maybe because the handwriting looked unfamiliar now. Childish somehow. Maybe because you can't miss someone you were pretending to be. That same night, Kendra posted a story. A mirror selfie captioned, "Some people don't know what they lost until someone better finds it. Subtle as a fire alarm." Subtle. Tasha texted immediately. "Do I send the popcorn or the cease and desist first?" "Popcorn," I replied. "Always popcorn." Wednesday brought a surprise visit. Mr. Peterson, our landlord. He looked apologetic, hat in hand. Sorry to bother you, Ms. Archer, but Mr. Rivera is trying to break the lease. Says you abandoned him. I raised an eyebrow. Did he mention I'm still paying my half? He did. I told him that's all that matters. But, he hesitated. He said he might sue for your half of the remaining months. Let him try, I said. I've got documentation stacked higher than his moral ground. Mr. Peterson chuckled. You did the right thing. My niece knows one of his friends. Word is, he's been saying for months he was waiting for an upgrade. Guess he forgot upgrades come with down payments. That one made me laugh. For the first time, I realized how absurd it all was. The grand victim narrative, the self-inflicted crisis, the way entitlement always dresses itself in heartbreak when the bills arrive. By Friday, I thought the storm had calmed. It hadn't. It was just changing shape. 11:03 p.m. Another knock. Hard, angry. Tasha was staying over again. We exchanged a look. She mouthed, "Camera ready?" I nodded. Through the peephole, I saw Grant, swaying slightly, drunk, and Kendra, arms crossed beside him. Two others lingered behind them, Tyler and Marco, his audience. I didn't open the door. "Grant, you're drunk. Go home." "I am home," he slurred. "You think you can just replace me like that?" "You replaced yourself?" I said through the door. Kendra chimed in, venomous. "He's trying to make peace, Noelle. You don't have to be cruel." "Calling someone a placeholder is cruel," I said. "Refusing to fund it isn't." Tyler muttered something about women overreacting, and Tasha burst out laughing from the couch. "Record that part," she whispered. "It's gold." I stepped closer to the door. "Grant, if you don't leave, I'll call building security." He banged once, the sound sharp and hollow. "You ruined my life." "No," I said quietly. "I stopped pretending your life included me." He yelled something incoherent and finally stumbled off, their footsteps dissolving into the hallway hum. I didn't cry, didn't even shake, just turned off the lights and whispered to myself, "It's over." But it wasn't. Not yet. Saturday morning, 8:42 a.m., the phone rang. Unknown number again. "Hello? Noelle, this is Robert Rivera." His tone was sharp, lawyer adjacent. "We need to settle this. You're playing with my son's future." I sat at the table, sipping coffee. Your son's future was his to manage. He's talking about taking legal action again. He can take a walk. It'll be cheaper. He exhaled loudly. "You know what your problem is? You think because you make more money, you're better than everyone else." "No," I said. "I just know how to pay my own bills." "You're destroying him over words, Noelle. Words build relationships. They also end them." He muttered something about cold-hearted women and hung up. I finished my coffee in peace. Sunday came quiet, for once, until my phone buzzed again. It was a text from a number labeled unknown for now. "Grant, I'm done playing nice. You'll regret this." Below it, a screenshot, a draft of a long social post. I was financially abused and abandoned by someone I loved. I sighed, then replied, "Grant, post it if you need to. But remember, I keep records, including yours." He didn't respond. Monday morning, it went live. A full-blown victim manifesto on social media, black and white photo, caption dripping melodrama about financial cruelty, and a partner who weaponized money. Hundreds of likes from people who didn't know us. Sympathy emojis from strangers who thought they were watching a love story instead of an audit. I didn't respond, not yet. By Tuesday evening, though, the narrative cracked, because I didn't have to break it. His friends did. Ashley, Tyler's girlfriend, commented, "Wait, wasn't this the same dinner where you called her a placeholder?" Then another comment popped up. "Bro, receipts don't lie. She's been covering utilities for months." Within an hour, the post disappeared. By midnight, I got a single text. "Grant, you win. Happy now?" I stared at it. Winning implies a competition. This was just accounting, emotional and financial. I typed back, "No winners, just balance restored." Then blocked him again. By Wednesday morning, Tasha called from work, voice giddy. "You've officially gone viral in our friend group. Everyone's calling it the placeholder redemption arc." "Please don't," I said, though I laughed. "You're trending locally on Facebook," she added. Someone screenshot the receipts post before he deleted it. "Great," I said. All I ever wanted was fame for paying my bills. That evening, I opened my balcony door and let the city air in, that hum of life continuing, indifferent and alive. I sat there a long time, watching the skyline flicker. The hum of the fridge behind me sounded again. Familiar, steady. And for the first time since that dinner, I realized the quiet wasn't empty. It was earned. The quiet didn't last long. Thursday morning, my phone buzzed with a message from Mr. Peterson, our landlord again. Ms. Archer, quick heads up. Mr. Rivera officially broke the lease this morning, said he's vacating this weekend. You'll get your portion of the deposit back directly. He forfeited his. A slow, clean relief spread through me. But in this story, peace was never a solo act for long. 2 hours later, Tasha texted, "You need to see Grant's story. He's throwing a moving party." I opened Instagram. There it was, a boomerang of beer cans clinking together and a caption in neon font. New beginnings after surviving financial abuse. Starting over. #independent king. I almost admired the audacity. Almost. By Saturday, the moving party circus was in full swing. Tasha's friend Eric, mutuals with everyone, volunteered to keep me updated. 15 people showed up, he whispered over the phone, clearly suppressing laughter. He's literally giving a speech. A speech? I said. Please tell me there's a podium. Close enough. He's standing on a milk crate, and get this. He's telling everyone you trapped him in an expensive apartment, then ditched him with no warning. Did anyone believe it? Eric snorted. Ashley is already tipsy. She just asked why you'd do that. He said, because women like control. There was muffled chaos, then Eric whispered again. Wait, Ashley's talking now. Oh no, she's really talking. What's she saying? She just said, and I quote, "You called Noelle a placeholder while she was in the bathroom, you idiot. Whole room's dead silent. Kendra's trying to shush her, but drunk Ashley is on a roll. She's reenacting it." My mouth actually dropped open. You're joking. Wish I was. Now people are literally leaving. Grant looks like he wants the floor to swallow him. By Sunday morning, his New Beginnings post was gone. In its place, a story of a sunset and a caption that said, "Sometimes silence says it all. If only." But Grant wasn't finished with spectacle. Monday, he launched a GoFundMe. Title, Help Me Rebuild After Financial Abuse. Goal, $5,000. Description, 3 paragraphs of self-pitying fiction about how I'd weaponized money and left him homeless. Tasha sent it to me with 5 laughing emojis. Do we let this ride or send Clara in? Clara, I said immediately. My cousin didn't disappoint. Within 24 hours, a legal notice citing false public claims and potential fraud hit his inbox. The campaign vanished before lunch. Total raised, $127, all from his mother. 2 days later, Grant showed up at my new apartment. It was 8:15 p.m. when the knock came. Soft, almost apologetic. Through the peephole, Grant, holding a bottle of my favorite whiskey, dressed like an apology, pressed shirt, cologne I'd once complimented. I hesitated, then opened the door halfway. Noelle, please, 5 minutes, just hear me out. I crossed my arms. 5 minutes, that's it. He held up the bottle. Peace offering. Bribery, I corrected. Talk. He sighed. I know I messed up. I said horrible things. I was stupid, but we were good together, weren't we? For 2 years I thought we were, I said. Turns out I was just comfortable furniture. He winced. Don't say that, you're twisting it. I'm quoting you. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. We can start over. I'll get my own place, we'll date properly, rebuild trust. I shook my head. You can't rebuild on a foundation you lied about. He tried again, desperate now. Okay, then let's just go back to how things were. I move in, we split everything. No drama. You mean I pay half of everything while you shop for my replacement? I won't, he protested. I learned my lesson. What lesson? I asked softly. That you need to watch what you say when I might hear? His mask cracked. You're really going to throw away 2 years over one comment? Yes. He stared at me, disbelief morphing into venom. You're pathetic. A real woman would fight for her relationship. A real partner wouldn't call me a placeholder, I said. His hand tightened on the bottle. I gave you the best 2 years of my life. No, I said quietly. You gave me 2 years of lies while waiting for someone richer. His expression twisted. You'll never find anyone like me. That's the goal. He hurled the whiskey bottle at my door. It bounced, unbroken, and rolled to the floor. Then he stormed off. I waited until his footsteps faded, then picked up the bottle. It hadn't shattered, which somehow felt poetic. Everything else had. The next day, Clara called. He officially dropped the case, she said. Probably because his lawyer realized emotional dependency isn't billable. I laughed, the kind of laugh that sounds like release. You okay? She asked. Better than okay, I said. Peaceful. Keep every document, she said. People like that have reruns. By Friday, word had spread. The lawsuit was dead. The GoFundMe gone. The party debacle public knowledge. Even Kendra, eternal chorus of denial, went quiet online. Tasha texted, So what's next for the placeholder queen? Retirement, I replied, early and permanent. Saturday morning, the city lights spilled across my kitchen table, quiet, golden, unbothered. I brewed coffee, leaned against the counter, and looked around my apartment. Every bill, every lamp, every breath, mine. My phone buzzed once more. Unknown number. I opened it, expecting spam. Grant, I know you hate me, but Trevor asked me out, and I said no because I realized what I had with you was real. I choose you. Trevor, his coworker, married. I looked him up on LinkedIn just to confirm. Wedding ring, smiling wife. I typed one line back. Trevor Martinez, the one with the wedding ring? Bold move. No response. Some people never learn. I poured the coffee, sat down, and listened, really listened, to the silence. It wasn't empty anymore. It was earned. No texts, no utilities in someone else's name, no half-hearted apologies. Just peace humming through the walls. I raised my cup toward the unbroken whiskey bottle on the shelf. To lessons learned, I said quietly. Then I took a sip and let the stillness settle, my kind of ballast.